to living the Italian dream. I took some notes because today's discussion about now that you have arrived. It gets a little tricky, and I just wanted to make sure I had everything in order to help you out once you got here. So you've arrived. Hopefully before you arrived, you've reached out to either an agency looking for an apartment, or hopefully you found an apartment. The two places I recommend when you're searching for an apartment, for me, Immobiliare.it and Casa.it are probably the most reputable and easy to use websites. The local ones like Tecnocasa, or some other random smaller ones, they're good, but they focus, I find that they focus more on selling rather than renting. It's more profitable. And you'll also notice even when you do rent, the agency will charge you a month's rent, or they like to say an average of the yearly rent, which comes out to about a month's rent. But they also charge the homeowner or the rentee, the people who are renting. They charge them as well. So they got a pretty good racket here. I don't know where you live in America or in another country, but usually it's the people who list the apartment for rent that have to pay the fine or the fee. Okay, so now you finally found a place. Again, remember when you find your apartment, you probably want to look, since it's your first apartment, to rent something that's furnished. A lot of apartments don't come with a kitchen. They don't come with a bathroom. Some will come with a kitchen, or some will come with just a bathroom. And when I say a bathroom, they have the bathroom there, but the fixtures aren't there. Maybe the toilet's there, maybe the bidet's there, but maybe the shower base is there without the doors. Or maybe the medicine cabinet doesn't exist. We had that happen to us in our first apartment. We had to buy a kitchen, and we had to buy a bathroom on top of all the other furniture that we had to buy. But I recommend that you get your first place without having to buy these big things. Number one, it's really difficult to move them after you've already fitted them in one place, because not every kitchen is the same size. And I found that once you take them apart, after you install them for the first time, they're never the same. They're just never the same. So again, get an apartment where you already have these things installed, and then this way you sort of get to understand if this is the right apartment for you, if this is the right area that you chose is for you, because it's going to change. I mean, we moved 3 times in 6 years. 1 year after another when we first moved here in Bologna, because the first place we got, even though we bought a kitchen, we bought a bathroom, it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, which was not big enough for us. Even though the square meters was huge, you probably could have made an extra bedroom out of the living room. But again, give yourself the flexibility to move. Find a place that already has a kitchen and a bathroom. You don't have to buy anything. Some places even come with sofas and beds already there. You might want to change out the mattresses or something. All right, so now you have to establish residency. You have the apartment, you take your passport, and if you have your passport and you go to the anagrafe and you get your carta identità. This is like your papers. You carry it wherever you go. Today, not today, but in the last couple of months, they changed it from actually an open paper that gets destroyed very easily to just a card now. So it simply fits right into your folder. If you don't have your passport, but you have your citizenship letter, all right, so really quickly, this is the carta identità. Open it up and you have all your information in case the police stop you or pull you over. This is something that they say you should have on you at all times. Now this is actually a permesso di soggiorno, but this is what the new card identitàs basically look like. They're on a card now. All right, so if you don't have your passport, but you do have your letter of citizenship, then you have to go to the questura first to get your passport. Again, just look it up and wherever you live, you'll find out where the questura is, where the comuna is, where the anagrafe is. It's really important places that you're gonna have to get things done. I advise you that when you're at the anagrafe, if you have children that you have to register for school, ask them while you're there getting these cartas de identidad for yourself and for your children, if they also do the school registration. In some towns, they do it at the anagrafe. In some towns, they do it at a school office. It changes town to town. In Bologna, they did it at the anagrafe. Here, where we live now, they do it at the school office. So again, while you're there getting something, try to ask them if that's where you do the school registration as well. If there's a language problem, try to go there with somebody who speaks, whether it's a friend or whether you know somebody from an expat group, or again, you could hire a company and they will assist you through the process. Now, you want to go through and after that, get your health card. You can get your health card at what's called a COOP, but the spelling is C-U-P, okay? But it's pronounced COOP. At the COOP, you show them your carta de identidad, you give them your address, and most likely in both places, you're gonna have to have your lease with your name. Everything must be written the correct way on your passport, on your carta de identidad, on your lease. For example, my full name is Michael Ralph Vesio. That's on all my documents. My passport, my carta de identidad, my lease, my financing for my car. If it's not like that, on my driver's license, if it's not like that, it could be a problem. Could be. I'm not saying it will be, but it could be. Also, going back to the COOP, that's spelled C-U-P, you go there and you could pick your own doctor. And again, you choose your doctor, obviously on their availability, if they have any spots open. So you'll make sure you have a backup just in case the doctor you choose, because it's nice and close to your house, doesn't have any openings. That's a pretty fairly easy thing. I mean, they give you a couple of books of that area full of doctors, and you choose a doctor that's good for you, or you feel that's good for you. You could also change doctors. If you try a doctor, you just don't happen to like him, like we had when we first got here. Yeah, that's a story. Yeah, another story for another day. Let's just say he was very obsessed with my wife. Yeah, and he was like super old. But anyway, to change your doctor, you just go back to the COOP and change your doctor. There's no charge, nothing like that. Getting back to the cup, that's spelled C-O-O-P, it's a supermarket. And we'll get into that in shopping. But just so you know, if you're driving around or if you're taking a bus and you see C-O-O-P, that's not where you get your health card, all right? It's C-U-P. And again, you can pick your doctor. Now, I went through depending on the school office, declaring residency. Now, again, you could go to the comune, or you can do this at the anagrafe. I believe we did this.
You go to the anagrafe to confirm residency.
All right, you go to the anagrafe to confirm your residency. They will set up a time for a local police to come visit your house. They will check your bell for your name, very important. They will also come up the stairs and they will knock on your door and they will ask you a couple of questions. They might ask you if they can come in. It's normal. This is just to confirm that you are who you are. You're living where you're saying you're living. And once that process is over, then you'll have your residency established. You have to make sure that you're home during these times. And when I say these times, they're gonna probably give you time from Monday through Wednesday from 1 to 4. So that means from Monday Tuesday and Wednesday. You have to make sure you're home to show your identification during those times, 1 to 4, 1 to 4, 1 to 4. Because if you're not home, all you're gonna do is drag out this process even longer. It'll take another 2 weeks to establish residency. And that's if everything goes as planned. It sounds simple, but there were a lot of trips back and forth for us. All right, really quickly, going into your HERA, which is your gas and your electric. There are other companies. HERA is a company that we chose. Other companies come to you door to door and try to sell you a more efficient product. We always say no, because we just, it's just not something I've ever even trusted in New York when somebody would come door to door. In New York, we stayed with Con Ed. Con Ed was Con Ed. They were the reliable ones, the most known ones, and we just stayed with Con Ed. Same thing here with HERA. We just stay with HERA. We might pay more, that's fine. We're happy with HERA. As a matter of fact, a couple of times HERA's put some money back in my pocket, so I'm happy with that. Getting your water, that's another thing. You're gonna have to get your local water company. I think ours here is...
They're all different, just ask your real estate
Yeah,
agent.
they're all different. Ask your realtor. And that's another thing too. You're paying for that realtor. And this is why I recommended that you go through a realtor, I believe in the last video, because you can use that realtor as a source, you know, for help. They'll tell you where to go. And most realtors, especially in mid-sized cities like Bologna, speak very good English, okay? So, you know, they're willing to go above and beyond as well. I'll give you an example, because our transition couldn't have gone any worse. Even though I came here a week ahead, we had our apartment lined up, but our landlord, being a traditional Italian older woman, refused to give me the keys without properly showing me the apartment herself. And because she was a professor at a university in Rome, she wasn't going to be home until a Friday evening. But meanwhile, we had furniture to be delivered. We had the gas scheduled on that Thursday, and it totally screwed up the entire process. I mean, she wouldn't even give us the keys. She refused to let us to walk into the apartment. Great lady though. I mean, she was a great landlady. She loved the kids, but it's just that cultural difference. While it sounds crazy to you, really, it's going to be a culture shock for many of you. And many of you who are Italian and lived in an Italian family, grew up in an Italian household, trust me, you're gonna have some type of culture shock. This is not America in that sense, and you have to respect their culture. And this is one first instant right away. She refused to let us in the apartment. So we had to reschedule the gas, which wound up costing us time in a hotel, which our realtor paid for. So again, we were lucky enough that our realtor, we didn't even ask. She offered, she goes, this is not your fault. There's no reason. You have children. I'll put you up in this hotel. And that's what she did. So again, there's really a lot of benefits if things go wrong, which most likely they will. Get yourself a realtor. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye. Don't forget to visit thegreenhouseway.com.